So the Nelson Mandela Bay Metropolitan Municipality says full restoration of electricity supply to all affected areas has been revised to this Thursday now. Residents enter day 4 without electricity, which also means the water supply has been impacted. This after the collapse of 2 electricity towers last week due to gale-force winds and, as they say, vandalism. The executive mayor of the Metro, Babalwa Lobishe, says they are committed to fixing the outage. She joins us now. She did tell us that she would come back and update us this morning as to the work that was done yesterday and where they're at the morning. Mayor, thank you for standing by your invite. Let's talk about what happened yesterday and any update that you can give us.
Thank you, Leanne. Good morning to you and listeners. Yesterday, all polls are up. The installation of the lines back has been done. It's a matter of today, testing and energizing the batteries. Possibly late today, electricity can be restored if all goes well, or tomorrow morning.
Okay, so in fact, you're now even revising that date because initially it was Thursday, but now you're saying that perhaps by the end of today, tomorrow morning, the electricity will be back in the metro.
Yes. Yes, that's what I'm confirming this morning.
And does this include water?
This is inclusive of water. Water might take a day later because remember the valves take its own time to release pressure. And we have been trying to make sure that the Chelsea line, which supplies the greater part of the western areas, that has been without water for 4 to 5 days, is restored. And we are doing our level best to make sure that we supply water tanks on the areas that do not have water. Even on institutions of higher learning, we do contact them and give them higher learning and also all the schools.
Because
we contact them and give them water, yes, on the tanks.
That was the report that we were running as how it's affecting schools. And one can imagine, I mean, that's just a difficult situation when you've got no water and no electricity. I mean, this impacts schooling and hygiene is a big problem. That's just on schooling. So are you making any, contingency plans for these schools that have none of the above?
This is what we are commissioning our electricity and water department to do because they work concurrently to check whether do these schools have pumps and do they have the water tanks. So it's information that should be on my table by Friday so that we assist them in prioritizing helping the schools to have, because the issue of the water crisis might take a bit longer in the city because our dams are going down and we are not assisted by residents and businesses in water conservation. And we are going to make sure that we hammer on them that it's a collective responsibility, because no individual is supposed to use water more than 50 liters a day.
And also, of course, hospitals, because we've been hearing stories of how there are some people that are on oxygen and they are struggling because they just are not getting the supply of electricity to run the oxygen.
Well, that would be news to us because all hospitals have those big transformers, which we maintain consistently, and especially the public hospitals. We do maintain them every week. Our guys go and check so that there's nothing that impacts on the hospitals. Doranginza, we even have a forum where we report your Youth hospital. So Livingston Hospital, it would be really out of their own negligence if that has occurred, because we have live wire communication with them.
Well, I'll look more into that, and I imagine also it's not necessarily only hospitals, but it's vulnerable patients that are being put at risk, and they are more than likely at home, and NGOs are saying that they need help. They really do. But what I am finding incredible is how amazing the residents of the area are, how they've been helping, whether it be hair salons, restaurants, neighbors, people just coming together and showing solidarity in the face of something that is a major problem. And the problem goes far beyond what we are looking at in terms of the electricity outages, because I'm reading reports about what your financial status is. And this is a very big problem, because I know that there are numbers, and perhaps maybe you can work them out for me and tell me if this is true or not, because these numbers being quoted by the DA Nelson Mandela Bay mayoral candidate Retief Odendaal is basically saying that the municipality's electricity and energy department recorded a loss of 1.48 billion rand during the 24-25 financial year. It means that almost half of the city's total rates income of 3.3 billion rand is being used to offset losses incurred by the electricity situation. Can you confirm this?
Well, this is over a period of 8 years that has been, it has accumulated, these losses have accumulated over a period of 8 years, which includes his time of being a mayor. SIU has been commissioned post his tenure, Retief's tenure in office. We commissioned SIU to be in place, and we are just waiting for the president to release the report, because the blowing of the transformer at Kucha happened when he was a mayor. He did nothing. And national government did something. So he can't come out and act as if he's now a messiah when he was part of the problem and did not act to sort the problem. We have, above that SIU report, there is an ongoing forensic investigation for those losses, and with the depots that are abusing over time, that are also having unnecessary losses in the electricity department. And I think it's quite unfair for him to want to politicize the matter when this is a plight of all of us.
Yeah.
And it happened during his time, and he did nothing.
All right. Well, we hope that under your time you do something more, and that we actually start seeing this being resolved. If we are talking deliberate vandalism, there has to be accountability. You need to find the people responsible for this, and you've got to find a way to catch them and find them doing this. So that is what we hope. But the good news is, as the mayor has told us this morning, hopefully by the end of today or tomorrow morning, the latest, electricity will be restored in the Nelson Mandela Metro Bay. So let's leave that there. Mayor, thank you again for accepting that invitation again. Babalwa, Lobishe.